A warm and blessed morning to each and every children. And today we are going to deal with the lesson The Enemy from Vistas book of NCRT English core, and it's in class 12th. So we are going to understand about the lesson. We will be understanding it together. So The Enemy is written by the writer Paul Esberg, and he is an American actor, writer, a producer, director, and former singer too. He has written for television and as well as produced it. He is the writer of the famous book The Enemy, and it has been written in series. So and rest you can read from the book itself. Then we are going to deal with the character. The character involved in this story is the main character. When we are talking about the main character of the story, the main character of the story is Dr. Sadao Hockey, and then the wife Hana, and then the father of Dr. Sadao, that is Dr. Sadao's father. Then there is a General Takima, he is a general of Japanese force. And then there is Storm, an American soldier. Actually, he is a POW, prisoner of war. Then there is three servants of Dr. Sadao, that is Yumi, Cook, and Gardener. So we will be dealing with the theme of the story. Basically, when we talk about the theme of the story in this lesson, we can see that there are three themes. That first theme is that whenever we are faced, whenever there is some situation where we are fighting on the basis of caste, creed, religion, or any reason, we should keep it all aside and we should work for the betterment of the world. We should work for the betterment of the humankind. So हमें जो है इस लाइन का मतलब ये हुआ, हमें वॉर को छोड़ के हमें बेटरमेंट ऑफ ह्यूमन, बेटरमेंट ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड के लिए वर्क करना चाहिए. सेकेंड थिंग इज दैट whenever we are into a dilemmatic situation, लाइफ में कई बार हम dilemmatic situation में आते, that whether we had to go with our profession or we had to go with our nature, then we should do a critical analysis or critical thinking before taking any step. And in the same way, Dr. Sadao Hockey has taken a critical judgment, a judgment doing by a critical analysis, and he performed according to his profession. Not he was not a traitor for the country, but he did what he was, like he was by profession, he was a surgeon, and his profession was giving him the responsibility of treating the wounded man who was washed away by the sea and is at the doorstep of Dr. Sadao. इनका जो था कि इनको बाय प्रोफेशन जाना था या देश के साथ जाना था, ये बहुत बड़ी डायलेमेटिक सिचुएशन आई थी. और ये रीज़न किए, इन्होंने क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस की, एंड ही वेंट विथ हिज प्रोफेशन एंड ही treated this person. Not only treated, he managed in the escape of this person safely from Japan to his own country. इन्होंने ना तो उसको ट्रीट किया बल्कि उसका सेफ जो एस्केप भी है वो भी प्लान किया. Then we talk about and this says that yes, ह्यूमैनिटी शुड बी above एवरीथिंग. इसका मतलब ही होता है कि ह्यूमैनिटी को सबसे ऊपर रखा जाए. एंड थर्ड इज दैट वी शुड not go for any type of war, because war doesn't give any good result. It is evident, we all know that even a single small fight is not going to give good result. So we should try to avoid such type of situation in our life. We should try to avoid such type of even nation should try to avoid to have war between themselves. So because it is not going to give good result. And when we talk about the character sketches, the Dr. Sadao, whatever we came to know is that he was a doctor, he was eminent scientist, and he was kind and generous man. From the second theme of the story, we can come to know that he was very kind and generous man. And then he was a true patriot, he was a loving and caring husband and a father too, and he was a caring master too to his servant, and he was a dedicated surgeon because he gave importance to his profession. He was not overpowered by emotion. He gave importance to his profession, so he was committed to his professional duty too. When we talk about Sadao's father, he was a very futuristic man, but at the same time, he was a traditional and conventional man. And then too, he was stern in his belief and value system, which was deep rooted in Japanese traditional value and culture system. Then he was very quiet man. He was not like normal father who was playing with the children, cracking joke. He was sharing a very mature relationship with the son. Then Hannah's Dr. Sadao's wife. She is very generous and kind lady. She is beautiful and dignified too. Very supportive and a balanced. And she balanced everything and she managed everything in a very proper way. When we talk about Tom, who is prisoner of war, POW in the story, he is an American soldier. He was brave enough to sustain the wound given by the sea waves, furious sea waves, um, and he was as well as shot by the gun too, and he was sustaining all the wound, and he was still alive. That means he was a very brave man. He was having long yellow beard, and he has a long yellow hair too. And when we talk about General Takima, he was a very selfish, self-centered person. He always thought of himself, and he was very cruel, ruthless, because he was in a habit of beating his wife, and he was unfaithful towards his nation. He was not promising to. When we talk about Dr. Sadao's servant, see, Dr. Sadao's servants were very good towards their master, but problem occurred when this POW was taken inside the house. They disagreed and to the master's intention or ideology of keeping the POW. They protested that they should not keep this person in the house, and then they this shows that they were true patriot मीन्स वो अपने देश के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ईमानदार थे. And when Dr. Sadao tried to make them understand about why he has taken such a decision to keep this person inside the home and to treat him, they disagreed towards the ideology of kindness of the master, and they were very loyal to the doctor, because when POW was not in, when he went away, when he was like okay, and he escaped with the help of Dr. Sadao, the servants came back for their work. So we can see this story is divided into three parts. First part is the sudden appearance of the POW, that is Tom, the American soldier. And this is in the introduction we will come to know how they found Tom, and in the mid we will see that how Dr. Sadao has managed to treat this white person, and with the treatment how he became okay. And the last portion is that the last part of the story deals with the escape of the prisoner of war, which was managed by Dr. Sadao Hockey. So when we are going through the story, this story is a very interesting story, and we will be dealing it in point wise. So first we are going to understand about Dr. Sadao's hockey childhood. Dr. Sadao's hockey childhood was not like normal children, but it was more or less same. Only difference was the only difference lies in the relationship between father and son. So he was a Japanese, he was from Japan, and he was living at the coast, he was living, his house was on the Japanese coast, and it was not heighted one, it was made with stone, and like everyone construct a fence or boundary wall around their house, but it was not needed in the case of Sadao Hockey, because there was pine tree and they were bent slightly towards one side, and that acted like a fence toward a fence the fence मतलब समझिए boundary wall जैसे they seemed like a fence in which was surrounding Dr. Sadao's house. And this house was constructed upon rocks above a narrow beach. एक नैरो से बीच के ऊपर जो है ये जो घर है constructed, and he was living there from his childhood. And in childhood he was climbing up the pine tree which was there very near to the house, which was acting as fence too. So he was in a habit of climbing the pine tree, and he learned this art of climbing the pine tree from the people whom he had seen climbing the coconut tree to have coconut. Whenever he was accompanying his father to the southern sea island, and there they, it was very often, and there they were having talks, a conversation between father and the son, and this conversation was of matured level. His father always showed him the southern island and said that this is the stepping stone towards the future of Japan. And as a child he was asking how, then he said, see, future depends on humankind, and what you want, you are going to shape your future in that way. So from this point we can come to know that Sadao's father was having a very mutual relationship. He was not playing with the son, he was not cracking jokes with the son, but he was talking about sensible things. They were discussing about the sensible things. And he was, father was very much careful, and he was very much worried about his son's upbringing. So when he reached the age of 20, he sent him to America to get education, to get educated about medicine and surgery. And when he was 30, he returned back to Japan, and he became an accomplished doctor, surgeon. So this is all about this is all about Dr. Sadao's childhood. And then Sadao returned to Japan. After the completion of his education, he returned back to Japan, and he practiced his medicine and surgery over there. He became a well known or renowned doctor and surgeon over there. And he was a scientist too, because see, at that time he was perfecting a discovery. He was at the end of a discovery of a medicine which was going to clean the wound. मतलब जो घाव होते हैं उसको पूरी तरीके से ट्रीट करके क्लीन कर देने की डिस्कवरी में थे, एंड ही वाज वेरी नियर टू इट. दैट्स व्हाई, see, this whole story took place when there was Second World War. But being such a renowned doctor, he was not sent with Japanese armed forces, because General Takima was severely wounded and he needed the service of Dr. Sadao. So he was there in the city in Japan to take care of General Takima. So now we are going to deal with another section of the story, Sadao, how he met Hannah and how he married her, and how he is feeling grateful that he married Hannah, and that's why he is a married person. See, he saw Hannah for the first time, and it was love at first sight. When he was residing with his American professor Harley. He was residing with Dr. Harley, Professor Harley, and it's not Dr. Professor Harley and his wife were very kind and generous people. They were helping other students who were coming from other nation in their country for pursuing the higher degrees, higher education. And here Dr. Sadao was residing with them, irrespective of the fact that he was not liking food, he was not liking the house too, and he was not liking the wife of Professor Harley, because she was very much talkative. But he thanks to God that he met Hannah over there, and it was love at first sight. But then too, he has not opened or revealed his feeling towards Hannah to Hannah. Why? Because he was well aware that his father is a stern believer. He is a strict follower of Japanese tradition and culture, and he will not allow his son to marry a girl from other nation or other culture. So he waited till the time he doesn't became confident that Hannah is from Japan. And when he became confident that Hannah also belonged to Japan, he revealed his emotion towards Hannah to her, so that she will come to know. And they waited till the time they came back to Japan, and there also they waited for the consent of their parents. And when they got the consent of their parents for their marriage, They were married in a traditional Japanese style, and they are in love. Still they share a beautiful relationship between them. And he says that he is grateful that he met Hannah there in the house of Harley. Otherwise there was nothing so good, but then to one good thing that happened was that he met Hannah, and now he is married because at that time he met Hannah. उनको उनको लगता था कि उनकी तो शादी ही नहीं हो सकती थी, वो कोई बेटर वाइफ उनको नहीं मिल सकती थी। तो अब उनको बहुत अच्छा फीलिंग हो रहा है कि हाँ, एटलीस्ट जो मैं जो है हैना से वहाँ मिला, इसलिए आज मेरी शादी हो पाई। और आज तक वो स्टिल टाइम दे जब ये स्टोरी चल रही है, दे आर एन्जॉइंग अ वेरी गुड मैरिड रिलेशनशिप। अब देयर इज़ लव इन द एयर, मीन्स उन दोनों के बीच में बहुत प्यार है और आज तक उनके रिलेशनशिप में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। अगेन वी आर गोइंग टू अ डिफरेंट सेक्शन ऑफ द स्टोरी, that how they had seen this POW, prisoner of war. Actually, one night Dr. Sadao came out of the house. As usual, the days were hot, and in the night seawater are very cold. Seawater is very cold. मतलब जैसे क्या होता है, देखिए दिन में ना बहुत गर्मी थी और रात में जो सी वाटर बहुत ठंडा था, ड्यू टू विच द होल एरिया वॉज सराउंडेड बाई फॉग और मिस्ट। मिस्ट धुंध से कवर था, फॉग मिस्ट यानी धुंध से कवर था पूरा एरिया। एंड देयर वॉज very little vision, and Dr. Sadao was observing or viewing or seeing the island. And then suddenly the wife opened the door. She came out of the door, and they were enjoying and they were seeing together the scenery. And suddenly they saw something black, black images coming out of the mist, out of the fog. And they tried to see, they wanted to see who the black who is that black image. And they bent down, they bent down to from the railing which was there in the veranda to see who is actually that black image. And they saw that it is a person. He was not able to walk properly, and when he was very near, or you can say when he was at the doorstep of Dr. Sadao, he fell down, and he fell down over there. And they immediately, when he fell down, they immediately came downstairs, and they came very near to that wounded man. And Dr. Sadao turned him, and when they saw the face, the color of the face, the wife Anna screamed, cried loudly, and said, "See, it's a white man. He's an American." Then they took a close look. I said Dr. Sadao was a doctor. So being doctor, he immediately tried to search out from where the bleeding is coming out. And there was continuous flow of blood. So immediately his experienced finger saw the wound, and he saw that it was a gunshot. And by seeing the condition of the wound, he came to know that he himself has treated. He has inserted some black powder inside the wound. He immediately plucked some seaweed. See, it was a coastal area, so everywhere there was sea moss. And Dr. Sadao immediately plucked some sea moss from the ground and tried to insert that sea moss into the wound, so that it can so that the blood can be stopped, so that there will be no further loss of blood, कोई और loss नहीं हो. Then what they saw कि they came into dilemma what to do with this person next. Then Dr. Sadao said, see, he is POW, a prisoner of war. मतलब वो बंदी था, कहीं prison में था और भागने में समर्थ हो गया. So they were thinking that, see, he has survived the gunshot, he has survived the furious sea wave, and he is still alive, and he is here at the doorstep. So Hannah and husband were discussing what to do next. Being doctor, He was thinking of treating him, but he was being too patriot. He was little bit worried that what he has to do, he has to hand over the person to the armed forces, or he has to treat the patient. Then suddenly Dr. Sadao said, giving this person to the Japanese armed forces will be a risk. He will certainly die. And then they decided to throw him back into the sea. Then also there was a problem. They thought, Dr. Sadao said, if we are going to throw him back to the sea, then also the person will die. And in this, Hannah agreed to each and every decision of husband. But Hannah said, if you want to throw him back to the sea, you have to do it all alone. I am not going to help you. मतलब मैं आपको ये खुद करना पड़ेगा, इसको खुद जाके सी में डालना पड़ेगा, मैं तो नहीं आपकी मदद करूँगी. इस तरीके की डॉक्टर सदाउस की वाइफ का स्टेटमेंट था. Then ultimately, finally, after a long discussion, they decided that they are going to treat, Dr. Sadao is going to treat the POW, this prisoner of war, Tom, an American soldier. It was a very difficult choice difficult choice which was taken by Dr. Sadao, because again there was a problem. Inside the house, there are servants who will strongly protest, and the same happened. They protested. And Dr. Sadao said, we will be giving I will explain the servants that why I had taken this person inside and why I am treating. I will state them that he is he is near to death. He is already wounded, and I will treat him. And when he will be okay, I will hand over this person to the Japanese force. But one of the soldier cook said, see, you had he said to the wife Anna that master has not done good thing. He was shot by gun. He was punished by the sea wave, and now if we are going to see this person, if Dr. Sadao is going to treat this person, and the sea and the Japanese force will be taking revenge of it, and we had to face the severe consequences or negative impacts of this particular action. And Hannah said, okay, I will convey your message to my husband, Dr. Sadao. Now it was very problematic situation for the doctor couple to treat the patient, because servants protested and they were not ready to help the master in any ways. Then there was another one big problem was that how to take care. And one ironical situation which was there in this story is that he was shifted in the room of his father, who was stern and strict believer of Japanese traditional culture, value, belief system. They decided to take in the person, and they both tried to carry this person to the room which was kept for his father. His father expired, but this room was kept in the name of the father, and it was beautifully decorated in the Japanese way. And when this person was being carried away by Dr. Sadao and the wife, it appeared that he was as light as fowl, chick or hen jitna patla ho chuka tha. That means he has been starving from many days, and they took him to the Sadao's father room, where he was lying on a thick floor mat, and he was badly wounded. He needed to be cleaned at that time. So Dr. Sadao said we had to clean him, and Dr. Henna said Henna said okay, it will be done. And then she said I will take the help of I will take help of one of the servant. And she went to the children's room where the child were sleeping, and she called Yumi that you come with me. Yumi said, see, the son is near to sleep, let him sleep. I am making the bed, and when he will sleep, I will come along with you, because she was not aware at that time what is going to be next. And then Yumi was being told by Hannah that you had to clean this wounded man. By seeing the wounded man, Yumi protested and she said, "No, I'm not going to clean this man because he is an American person, and I will not clean a person who is enemy of our nation." And first Hannah was became a little bit she became a little bit angry, but then she understood the criticality of situation, and she said okay, and now it was Hannah who has to wash all the wounds, Then what happened? She brought, as Yumi has brought two wooden buckets of warm water. Hannah and Yumi refused. She protested that she is not going to clean the wound. Then Hannah herself, started cleaning the wound. She cleaned his upper body clearly and did not turn him over. She was also having fear because at that time husband was out of that room. He was preparing for the surgery, or he was preparing for the things. He was actually collecting the things which were needed for treating him. So she didn't turn up the POW, the Tom, an American soldier, because she was having fear that if he gets into consciousness, he is going to hurt him. So for that fear, she didn't clean him by turning him back. When Sadao entered the room in the in with surgery bag and coat, she understood that now my husband is going to operate him. She helped him to turn the stranger over, and she cleaned the wounded person because now surgery is going to happen. She helped him turn the stranger over, and she cleaned. Dr. Sadao was completely absorbed in his work, and he was asking her to give anesthesia to the patient. And he said to Hannah that give anesthesia to the patient because I have to do surgery. Hannah became uncomfortable when she saw the bleeding wound. Hannah became a little bit uncomfortable. She was not feeling easy when she saw that still the blood is coming out of the wound, and she ran out to vomit. She ran out to vomit, मीन्स उसे एकदम अनईजी लगा, उसे वो खून देख के अच्छा नहीं लगा, तो वो वॉमिटिंग के लिए रूम से बाहर निकल गई. Sadao was irritable and impatient with his patient as he was not able to help Hannah in her distress. Because Sadao became little bit irritable and he was impatient when he saw the wife running out of the room to vomit, and he was feeling this for the patient, because at this point when the wife needed husband, he was not able to help his wife. The man groaned with pain. The man was crying with pain because he was badly wounded, and out of pain he was groaning, he was crying. And interestingly enough, Hannah was able to assist her husband in the operation. And then Hannah came back to the room and she helped the husband in the operation. Hannah observed deep red scars on the neck of their enemy. Hannah saw that there was a deep red scar on the neck of the enemy. उसके गले पे भी ना एक बहुत ही लाल मार्क का स्कार था, दाग था, जैसे कि उसे किसी ने हर्ट किया था. She wondered if the war torture stories she had heard were actually true. And at that time she was thinking that whatever stories she had heard from the parents, from other people about the dealing of prisoner of war is true when she is seeing this patient. She recalled the General Takima, and suddenly she recalls about General Takima, who was very, very self-centered, selfish person. And he didn't even spare his wife too. He beated her badly. Sadao murmured while operating, as was his habit. When he was into surgery and when he was seriously performing his work, he was in a habit of murmuring, speaking in a very lower voice. He called POW his friend. And while murmuring, he called him his friend. Sadao finally succeeded in taking out the bullet from the wound, and he was sure that man would live in spite of his suffering. And he was sure after surgery that this person is going to live. He will not die, because now the condition are in control. And the next part of the story I will deal in second part of the video. Thank you so much for going through the video, and if you like my video, please try to share the link with other students so that they can also be benefited if you like. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day ahead.